Hi, I'm Melissa with Mixin' Some Magic. I'm a Disney planning expert and I'm here to mix a little magic into your day. Each week I share Disney vacation planning tips, park strategies, and a little bit of Disney history sprinkled in. Of course, I like to include lots of Disney magic. Join me, let's mix in some magic. Hello and welcome. I'm so happy to be here with you today. I took last week off for 4th of July. I went with my family and my parents and my siblings and all the nieces and nephews to the border of Wyoming and Idaho, and we were camping. So that was really fun. It's beautiful up there. It was fun to be with family. It was colder than I expected. I wasn't exactly prepared for the cold. I don't know what I was thinking, but I didn't have enough warm stuff, but it was okay. I borrowed and just stayed by the fire, and it was really fun. We did a hike that I was nervous about. I don't even know what the hike is called, but it hikes up to these waterfalls. It was 6.5 miles, and it took us about 4.5 hours round trip, and I am not a hiker. I don't really like hiking. Really, any physical activity that requires a lot of exertion is not really my favorite thing. I don't mind hikes that are more like walks through the forest. That's nice. I enjoy that. But when it comes to inclines, steep inclines, I just don't really like it at all. And it might be because my husband is very fit and active, and fit and active are not two words I would use to describe myself. And so when he goes on hikes, his idea of a beginner is like my idea of a high, moderate level hike. So when he takes our family on hikes, I'm like, this is the worst. This is so hard. Put me on the hike that is like the toddler hike. Like, what would you take 4 and 5-year-olds on? That's the hike that I want to be on. That's kind of my level. So I was actually kind of nervous to go on this hike at all because it was going to be so long and so far, and I just didn't know if I was going to enjoy it. But I decided to just give it a go. My niece and nephew, who are 6, they were going to go on it, and I thought, well, if they can do it, maybe I can do it. And I have been working out more, so I decided to give it a go. And it was actually really great. There were only a couple times that I was like, ugh, this is really hard. I hate this. But other than that, for the most part, it was really good. And it was fun to be with everybody. And we had lunch on the trail, and it did rain a tiny bit. And I was a little nervous we were going to get a huge downpour or a lightning storm. But luckily that didn't happen. And it was really fun. So I did it. I'm glad I did it. It was fun. But I don't think I'm ever going to be one of those, like, avid hikers. I don't think that's probably in the cards for me at this point. So I was off last week because we were doing family stuff and camping and all of that. And then we got home and our apricots are ready, almost. They're like right on the edge of being ready. Our apricot tree is ginormous, and we have thinned and thinned so many apricots off this tree. Doesn't seem to make any difference. I don't know. It's like they regrow overnight. I bet we have thinned probably 10 to 15 of those huge garbage bags, like the white kitchen garbage bags that you use in your kitchen. I bet we've thinned 10 to 15 full bags of those of apricots off our tree. And it really doesn't matter. You can't even tell. My husband was out there yesterday thinning even more because some of the branches are really bending and look like they're going to break. So he's trying to take the weight off of them. He's like, I took 2 more garbage bags worth of apricots off that tree today. I'm like, you can't even tell. Didn't make a dent at all. So we're preparing for our apricots. And the problem with the apricots is we have so many, and our neighbors all have apricots. They don't want our apricots. Actually, a lot of people don't even really like apricots. These apricots are not like big, beautiful apricots that you might see at Costco. They're kind of like smaller apricots. We don't spray them, so they don't really have bugs, but they're just smaller apricots. And our tree is so big that a lot of the apricots we can't even reach. So when they are ripe, we can't reach them. They're way too high, so the birds get a lot of them. But then when they get overly ripe, they start to fall off the tree. And if you have ever thrown a overly ripe apricot at the ground, you'll know that it splats. Like, it doesn't just fall, it splats and melts into the ground and makes this huge mess. They're hard to clean up once they fall. And then our dog, he knows he's not supposed to. He doesn't care. He eats them and then he throws up the apricot pits. And it's just one mess after another with this apricot tree. So this year, someone suggested that I lay down some of those plasticky disposable tablecloths under the apricot tree. I'm going to do that. Hopefully I can catch some of those apricots and then I won't have to clean them up. I can just fold up these tablecloths, throw them away before the dog eats them. That's what I'm going to do. That's my goal. But right now we are kind of in apricot hell, or we're heading there. So it's just, I don't know. I talk way too much about the apricots. I know that. I'm sorry. It's just a real big part of my life in July. That's all I do is think about apricots. But my raspberries are doing awesome. I did notice that we have grasshoppers in the raspberries now that are eating the leaves. They don't eat the raspberries, but they eat the leaves. And grasshoppers are just a pest. So I don't know how to get rid of them. I need to do some research, but it's terrifying when you're picking raspberries and all of a sudden the grasshoppers hop out at you. They are the scariest looking little creatures, and I hate them. So if I feel like we're kind of biblical plague happening over here. We've got locusts, we've got apricots falling from the sky. I'm pretty sure apricots were one of the biblical plagues, right? I'll have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm done. Done talking about my apricots and my raspberries. I am excited because today I get to tell you about visiting 1901 over in California Adventure Park and how I got to meet a Disney legend, a full-blown Disney legend. It was amazing. I can't wait to tell you all about it. So let's take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to tell you the whole story. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Mix and Some Magic. Today, I am thrilled to share with you my ultimate Disney travel hack, Getaway Today. As a diehard Disney fan, I've taken countless trips to Disney destinations, and Getaway Today has booked them all. I've been using them for over 15 years, and let me tell you, using Getaway Today has been a game changer. So, what is so special about Getaway Today? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here's the scoop. Getaway Today specializes in Disney vacations, and they've got the inside exclusive deals and discounts to Disney parks. Their park tickets are always discounted off the gate price, and they have amazing deals on hotels. They even have deals on cruises and Aulani in Hawaii. Trust me, you won't find these magical offers anywhere else. Whether you're planning a family vacation, a romantic getaway, or a solo adventure, Getaway Today can craft a personalized package to suit your Disney dreams. It's like having your own fairy godmother for vacation planning. Whatever you have in mind, they can help you make it happen. Getaway Today offers layaway plans, which is amazing, because Disney dreams shouldn't come with a hefty price tag, at least not all at once. Getaway Today offers payment plans that make it easy for you to budget and plan the perfect Disney vacation. They also have the very best customer service. Seriously, they are a small family-owned business and they really care about your vacation. Their customer service is top-notch. The Getaway Today team is filled with Disney experts who have actually been to the park, they've actually stayed in the hotels, they know their stuff, and they are as passionate about Disney as you are. They go above and beyond to make sure your trip is practically perfect in every way. Booking through Getaway Today is super easy. You can book using their website. I've put a link in the show notes, or you can call them at 855-GETAWAY and tell them Mix and Some Magic sent you for the best deals. As a special treat for our listeners, Getaway Today is offering an exclusive discount. Just use the promo code MIX10 at checkout or over the phone, and you can save an extra $10 on packages. Thanks for tuning in, dear Disney listeners. Now go ahead, plan that unforgettable Disney adventure with Getaway Today, and let the magic begin. All right, welcome back. A couple weeks ago, I was at Disneyland on a fam trip, which is a familiarization trip. Did you see how good I said that? I've been practicing saying familiarization. It's a hard word for me. They call it a fam trip, but I really have been practicing that word. I think I did better this time than I did in the last episode. That was kind of a disaster. Anyway, I was in California with Visit Anaheim, which is kind of like the tourism group over tourism in Anaheim. That's said that weird, but yes. And with my travel partners, Getaway Today, and they were taking us on this trip to show us some different things that people could do in the Anaheim area. Obviously, you're going to visit Disneyland, but there's lots of other things you can do in the Anaheim area. So I was on this trip with them, and we had about a half day at Disneyland as part of this trip before we had other things that we needed to do. And I was there with, I think, maybe 8 or 9 other Disney content creators. And one of them was my friend Jordan from Disneyland Forever. He and his husband, they have their own podcast called Disneyland Forever, so you'll have to look them up. Anyway, Jordan and his husband are new Club 33 members. And Jordan had this great idea while we were on our trip. He was like, hey, do you want to go to 1901 when we're at Disneyland? And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, it hadn't even crossed my mind that he could get us into 1901. That wasn't even on my radar. And when he said that, I was like, we have to now. Like, it's in my head. You've said it. We can't not do this because I'll regret it for the rest of my days. So yes, please, I want to go to 1901. So if you don't know what 1901 is, it is a kind of like a club like Club 33, but it's over in California Adventure. Now, it's not as well known as Club 33. It's not as talked about as Club 33, but the only way you can go to 1901, which is right by Carthay Circle over in California Adventure Park, is to be with a Club 33 member. So over at Club 33, you can get into Club 33 a couple of different ways. You can be visiting with a Club 33 member, or there are certain levels of memberships that can call and make a reservation for you to go by yourself to Club 33 to the restaurant and eat there. But 1901 is different. If you're going to be at 1901, you're going to have a Club 33 member with you. Now, 1901, you can't make reservations for. You just show up and you hang out, and you can have dinner, you can have drinks, and it's just kind of like a lounge almost, but they do serve food there. There's a bar also, and it's kind of a really cool place. So I was so excited when Jordan said we could go to 1901. And true to his word, he took me over to 1901 for lunch on our Disneyland day. We had a couple of other Disney content creators with us, and we walked in, we pushed the little button, they let us in, and they showed us over to our table. I do have pictures of all of this, but you're not allowed to take videos in 1901 or Club 33. So I just have a few pictures. So they sat us at this table. It's kind of like a couch with living room chairs around it. That's what our table was like, the big coffee table in front of us. It's a very relaxed atmosphere, kind of like you're just hanging out in somebody's really nice house. Very comfortable, very relaxed. They had great air conditioning, which was amazing because it was really pretty hot that day. So we walked into 1901. They showed us to our table. But all over the walls are just tons of pictures and memorabilia from the history of Disneyland, but it was kind of more centered around Walt Disney himself. So there was a picture of his parents, and there was a picture of him as a baby, and they had all kinds of pictures of him as he's like creating, Disney animation, and he's drawing Mickey Mouse and doing all kinds of things. And some of the pictures on the wall would come to life every once in a while, so that was really fun. And I was just blown away by all of the things that there were to see. I didn't even want to go sit at our table. I just wanted to look at all of these amazing things all over the room. One of the cast members from 1901 saw my interest in all of the pictures, and she was walking around with me and pointing things out, and look at this picture, and oh, come over here, you're going to love this. And she was just kind of showing me around, and I was loving it. And as we're doing that, then Jordan comes over and he whispers in my ear, he's like, Tony Baxter just walked in. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? He's like, Tony Baxter, right over there. But then, of course, we were like, be cool. Just be cool, because we are here at 1901. We're just being cool. Even though there's a celebrity that just walked in. Now, if you don't know who Tony Baxter is, he is a Disney legend. He is the former Senior Vice President of Creative Development in Walt Disney Imagineering, and he is the creative genius behind a bunch of amazing attractions all over the world. So if you've ever watched a Disney documentary, then I guarantee you have seen Tony Baxter on there in some way, shape, or form. He does interviews all the time for these types of documentaries talking about his work and his history with the Disney company. So he has worked on all kinds of attractions. He's responsible for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. He's responsible for Splash Mountain, Indiana Jones, Finding Nemo, Star Tours, Journey into the Imagination over at Epcot, Finding Nemo, the Sleeping Beauty Castle walkthrough. He also had a big hand in the Fantasyland refresh that happened back in 1983. And on and on. He's done things in Tokyo and in Paris, and he's a legend. I've said that before. I'll say it again. Tony Baxter, Disney legend. Anyway, Jordan's whispering in my ear, Tony Baxter's here, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And in my brain, I'm like scheming. Like, how can I meet Tony Baxter? Because we're there as Jordan's guests. We're a Club 33 members guest, and we're not allowed to take videos. We can take pictures, but like very discretionally. We're not supposed to take pictures of other people because a lot of Club 33 members they're celebrities, and they have Club 33 memberships because they want a place that they can go and not be bothered by people like me who want to take a Disney Legends picture and like mob them and talk to them all about the history of everything Disney. So 1901 and Club 33 are kind of like a place that they can go and escape and not have to deal with adoring fans like myself. So I knew all that, right? And I'm like, okay, I can't go over there and bother him like he's with his family. It's just not appropriate, right? And it made me sad because I'm like, man, if I could talk to him, that would be so great. But I knew I couldn't walk over there and say hello. So I went back, sat at our table, and my friend Chris Provost from Provost Park Pass, he was with us, and we're like, Tony Baxter just walked in. And he looks over and he goes, oh, I know him. We're like, you do? And he's like, yeah, I know him. And I was like, well, get yourself up, scooch on over there and go and talk to him, and you bring him back here. And Chris is like, should I go and say hi? I'm like, go and talk to him. Bring him back here. So Chris went over there and bless his heart, started chatting with Tony Baxter because he knew him. It was totally fine for him to go and talk to him. And he brought him over to our table, and we got to meet Tony Baxter and chat with him. And it was so much fun. I don't know how long he spent chatting with us, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. But I was in awe that he was standing there talking to us. So he started back at Disneyland in 1965 as an ice cream scooper on Main Street when he was 17 years old. So he's been with the Walt Disney World Company for a really long time, and he worked his way up from ice cream scooper to this like senior vice president of creative development for Walt Disney Imagineering. That's a big jump. And he worked his way up. And so it was so fun to be talking to him. And he told us this story that I was totally enthralled with. He said that back in the day when he was an ice cream scooper, he was working at Disneyland. This was when they were building Pirates of the Caribbean. And he was on his break with a friend, and there was this door that said, like, do not enter. It was shut, and it was usually locked. I guess he'd tried it before, but he just went and turned the handle, and the door wasn't locked this time. And he's like, let's go check it out. Let's go see what's behind this door. And his friend was like, no way, you're going to get fired. We can't go into wherever that door leads. We can't go there. But Tony Baxter was like, I'm going. I don't care. So he went by himself through this door, which led him down this staircase, through this hall to another door. All of a sudden, he opens it up, and he is on the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction, which is under construction at this point. So he said the door opened and led him right to the jail scene where the dog is holding the keys and the pirates are in the cell. He's standing there admiring this jail scene. He said there wasn't water in any of in the canals yet. It was just the track, and they were kind of still had things under construction. So he's admiring this scene from Pirates of the Caribbean, and he hears somebody say to him, you can get a better view from down here. And he looks over, and there's a guy standing in the water canal, which is empty right now, with a hard hat on. And he says, come on down. I want to show you. I'll show you around. So he climbs down, and this man shows him around the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction. So he says he gets to walk through the whole thing. The guy's telling him all kinds of things, and he had the best time ever. Well, he went back to work, and he said that they docked him $1.07 because he was late for work. He'd been gone for an hour, unaccounted for. So they docked his pay, and then he just continued on with his job. And a few years later, he had moved up a bit in the company, and his boss was Claude Coates, who is another Disney legend. And he recognized his new boss as the man who he had met on Pirates of the Caribbean a few years earlier. And he told Claude Coates, he said, I'm sure you don't remember this, but years ago, I was an ice cream scooper, and I snuck in to the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction backstage, and you found me and showed me around the ride. And Claude Coates was like, yeah, of course I remember. I totally remember that. And he said, I should have fired you, like on the spot. You should have been gone. But I didn't, because I knew you were the ice cream scooper. And whenever I bought ice cream, you always gave me extra big scoops. So I didn't want to lose you. And I loved that story. So the only reason that Tony Baxter is a Disney legend today is because he serves large scoops of ice cream. Because if he had been fired from that job, he probably never would have gone back to the Walt Disney Company. And how different would the world be? Actually, the whole world. We wouldn't have, like, Splash Mountain would be different. Indiana Jones would be different. Star Tours, like all those things that affect the people who love Disney so much. Those would be different. So I thought it was such a cool story. It was so fun to hear it directly from him. And we chatted with him some more, and someone asked him, like, what advice he would give to people who want to be Imagineers someday, like kids or aspiring Disney Imagineers. And he said that he recommends that you embrace technology and you embrace AI, which I thought was really interesting because a lot of people are really opposed to AI. He said, embrace AI, use it to make your work better, use it to help you get ideas, but use it as a tool. Don't be afraid of it, and don't shy away from it. So I thought that was really, really cool. So then he was like, nice to meet you. We were like, thank you so much for chatting with us. And then he went and sat with his family right across from us. So I had my eyes on him the whole time I was in 1901. I didn't ask him for a picture because it just didn't feel appropriate. So I didn't ask him for a picture. So no pictures of me and Tony Baxter, but you guys, it happened. I promise. Promise. So anyway, we had lunch at 1901. I got these lettuce wraps that were delicious. So very good. And then I got an ice cream sundae, and I love ice cream. I don't know what I was expecting. It was kind of a Rocky Road ice cream sundae almost. So they had marshmallows in there and they had almonds. And I don't know if it was just because I was on this high because I was in 1901 or just met Tony Baxter, but this was maybe the best ice cream sundae I've ever had in my life. I loved it. Oh, I think there were chunks of cake in there too. It was delicious. I was super happy with it. Maybe it was like a leftover residual high that like bled over into the ice cream sundae. I could see that. But it was delicious. Lettuce wraps were delicious. After that, we were all just sitting around chatting. It's so nice at 1901 because there's no rush to leave. Like, you're there to relax and hang out. And we honestly forgot that we were even at Disneyland because there's just a quietness about 1901, even though it's right there in the middle of California Adventure Park. But there is just this quietness that you don't find anywhere else in the park. So it's easy to forget where you actually are. But as we were finishing up, Tony Baxter stood up, walked over, and came back to chat with us for a few more minutes, which was so nice. Still, I didn't ask him for a picture. It just didn't feel right. I wish he would have been like, hey, would you like to take a picture with me? I would have been, yes, all over that. He didn't. That's okay. I still got to meet him. I have the memories. That's all that matters, right? Picture would have been nice, but I've got the memories. Anyway, I don't know if I'll ever get to go back to 1901 again. I'm so thankful for the experience because it was amazing. It was so fun. I highly doubt I will ever meet Tony Baxter again, but I'm thankful for that experience as well. They're all just kind of balled up together in one great 1901 experience that I will never forget. So it was amazing. I was so happy I got to do it. And just a highlight, huge highlight from that trip. I'm still kind of like in shock. And that was weeks ago. But I wanted to tell you the whole story just in one episode. I didn't want to lump it together with another episode because I thought it deserved its own standalone highlighting episode. Now, if you ever get a chance to go to 1901, take it. Definitely do it. It's so much fun. They do have a dress code there, so we were a little worried that what we were wearing was not going to pass the dress code, but they said we were fine. So phew. My t-shirt and shorts made the cut. Thank goodness, because I would have been real sad to miss out on 1901 because I wasn't dressed appropriately. But great time, great trip, and now I am looking forward to a trip that I have coming up in just a couple of weeks. I'm looking at my calendar right now. I have a big huge yearly calendar above my desk where I can write down everything so I can remember what's going on in my crazy life. So a couple weeks and I will be back at Disneyland again. I'm visiting with my daughter and she is bringing along her boyfriend who has never been to Disneyland. He's actually never been to California. He's never been on an airplane and he's never been to the beach. So we are going to do lots of firsts on that trip. I wasn't planning on going to the beach, but once he said he had never been to a beach ever, I was like, well, we're so close. We have to go. So we're going to go to the beach. We're going to go to Disneyland, of course. He's going to ride on an airplane. And I love going to Disneyland with people who have never been there before. It's so much fun to just see someone else take it all in for the first time. So I think it's going to be amazing. I told him he better love it. I'm sure he will. Who doesn't love Disneyland? My friend Rhonda is going to meet us there, so I'm excited about that. It's just going to be fun. We're going to go watch Fantasmic. I haven't seen the new show yet, so I'm excited to check out Fantasmic. We're doing a dining package over at Blue Bayou, so lots of fun things happening. I just can't wait. Now, if you are a YouTube watcher and you're not following me, I want you to go and follow me. I'll put a link down in the show description so you can check out my YouTube channel. I just did a whole video all about Disney news and rumors. And in this video, I talk all about the latest rumors and news that you need to know about. So go over there and watch that video. I talk about what may be announced at D23. There's lots of rumors surrounding D23 this year and what might be announced for the Disney parks, Disney World and Disneyland specifically. I focus on those. There are tons of other things happening, lots of rumors surrounding D23, so I talk all about that. I also talk about the possibility that Haunted Mansion Holiday might open even earlier than August 23rd. That has been floated around. So I talk about a lot of different things. Go and watch it. I will put a link in the show notes so you can check it out. But I hope you have a great week. I hope it's not full of apricots and locusts like mine is going to be. But I will be back next week with something new. Thanks so much for listening. We'll talk soon.